If this episode makes you think, please let us know in the comments and support us by subscribing and leaving a review. Thank you. Today we are exploring school AI policy in Shawnee Mission, Kansas, where a proposed ban became limited access just 2 days before students returned to class. According to the KCTV article, under teacher guidance, older Shawnee Mission students approved limited AI tool use, published on August 11, 2026. The Shawnee Mission School Board reversed the position district leaders had favoured in July. Middle and high school students can now use built-in artificial intelligence tools on district devices, provided a teacher directly supervises that use. That timing jumped out at me. 2 days, changing a significant classroom technology plan, 2 days before term begins, leaves almost no room for teachers to interpret it together, rehearse difficult scenarios, or explain it properly to families. A policy can be sensible on paper and still create confusion because of when and how it arrives. I think the board was right not to impose a total ban. Students need carefully structured opportunities to understand generative AI, including what it gets wrong and how easily a plausible answer can disguise weak reasoning. But teacher-guided access sounds much clearer than it really is. What counts as direct supervision? Must the teacher watch every prompt? Can students use AI during independent work while the teacher supports somebody else? Is it permitted for brainstorming but prohibited for drafting? Those distinctions matter because student AI use doesn't happen in a tidy laboratory. It happens in a busy classroom with 30 students, mixed confidence, limited time, and several competing needs. This is where school AI policy often breaks down. Leaders settle the headline decision, allow or ban, but leave teachers to construct the operational policy lesson by lesson. That creates inconsistency. One teacher may allow ChatGPT-style support to generate questions. Another may treat any AI-produced phrase as cheating. Students then learn the boundaries by trial and error, with potentially serious penalties attached. The updated handbooks reportedly prohibit using AI to cheat and allow sanctions including parent notification and loss of assignment or course credit. A school certainly needs consequences for deliberate dishonesty. Yet using AI to cheat is only useful language if everyone has a shared understanding of acceptable use. Otherwise, the policy risks punishing ambiguity. Take a Year 8 geography lesson. A student asks an approved AI tool to suggest reasons why cities develop near rivers, checks those suggestions against class resources, rejects 2 weak claims, and builds a locally relevant explanation. That could be teaching with AI in a thoughtful way. If the same student asks the tool to produce the completed response and submits it unchanged, the intellectual work has disappeared. The technology is identical. The learning behavior isn't, so the boundary can't rest entirely on which tool was opened. It has to account for purpose, process, and student judgment. I'd want teachers to ask whether the machine is reducing needless friction or removing the productive struggle where learning occurs. Outsource your doing, not your thinking. The district plans to introduce PICRAT, a research-based technology integration framework, during the autumn. PICRAT asks educators to consider 2 connected issues: the student's relationship with technology and the effect of that technology on teaching practice. Students might engage passively, interactively, or creatively, while the teacher's practice might be replaced, amplified, or transformed by the technology. That gives staff a more useful conversation than simply asking whether AI is good or bad. Still, PICRAT can't do the work of district AI guidelines by itself, and it won't automatically define acceptable assistance, identify approved tools, protect student data, or redesign assessment. A framework helps teachers think. A policy must also help them act consistently under pressure. If you value considered analysis of AI in education and what it means for real classrooms, follow or subscribe to the podcast for more episodes like this. Superintendent Dr. Mike Schumacher told the meeting that the district needed balance between what technology could do for students and teachers and what should be reined in. I agree with that instinct. We're going to take our time, though sits awkwardly beside a major pivot immediately before school starts. Taking time should mean staged implementation, a defined pilot group, protected professional development and evidence gathered against clear outcomes. It shouldn't mean uncertainty is simply passed down to teachers. The parent criticism reported by KCTV deserves attention as well. At the Centre for Academic Achievement, one parent warned against conceding curriculum and professional development decisions to the Information Technology Department. Another called for independent evidence rather than claims from organisations promoting products. That's a governance issue, not an anti-technology reaction. Information technology teams are essential for security, device management and technical reliability. They shouldn't carry sole responsibility for deciding what counts as worthwhile learning. Curriculum leaders, teachers, safeguarding staff, students and families each see different risks and possibilities. Good decisions need those perspectives before procurement and implementation, not after. The district says it will create a community work group before finalising a broader permanent policy. That could build trust, but only if the group has genuine influence. If families are invited after the main assumptions have been fixed, consultation becomes reassurance rather than collaboration. I'd want the workgroup to see what evidence drove the reversal, which built-in AI tools are approved, what information those tools collect, and how the district will judge success. Tool usage alone tells us very little. A district could report thousands of AI interactions while student thinking becomes shallower. Better measures would include teacher workload, quality of student reasoning, frequency of misuse, differences between age groups and whether access benefits the middle 80% of learners who often receive less individual attention. Assessment also needs attention. If course credit can be lost for misuse, teachers need ways to establish understanding without relying on unreliable AI detection software. Look at the product, the process used to create it, and a student's live performance. Ask the student to explain a decision, defend a source, or improve a weak AI suggestion. The real value is not in what the machine produces, but in how the student responds. There's also a wider policy tension here. Kansas has restricted phones in schools, while Shawnee Mission is permitting supervised AI through district devices. That isn't necessarily contradictory. It suggests that access can be deliberately designed rather than treated as all or nothing. A managed device, approved tool, and planned task create different conditions from unrestricted personal phone use. But those conditions cost money, training time, and leadership attention. Governments can announce principles. Districts and schools have to fund the reality. My view is that the Shawnee Mission School Board has moved in a more educationally defensible direction, but the hard work begins after the vote. Limited access succeeds only when teachers have time, shared examples, clear boundaries, and permission to use professional judgment. A credible school AI policy doesn't merely state whether AI is allowed. It makes the learning purpose, human responsibility, and evidence of understanding visible. A good AI policy protects thinking before it regulates tools. That's all for today. Thanks for listening.